Back, guys, to another episode of Box Mining here, bright and early here in Hong Kong, 11 a.m. to get some catch on the global cryptocurrency news. So today we're at the ninth, already approaching so fast, right? This month it's going by so quickly. It's November. For some reason, right? Almost all the Christmas stuff, all the Christmas packages, gift packages are up already. So I mean that's Christmas fast approaching. But anyways, regardless, in the crypto side of things, we had a eventful political week wrapped up, almost. So we could go up to looking at Bitcoin, and hopefully the global markets are like, yeah, come right in. And that's been kind of the drama last week. So drama last week, we're trying to look at the election results. It was up and down, and then it was chaos. But this week we're approaching the end of that, right? So we end of 2020. FTX already has Trump Feb up, but that's around it. You know, if you look at present 2020, FTX already wrapped up Trump win and Trump lose. So that was already concluded. So anyone who was holding Trump lose tokens, well, they will be they'll become $1, and anyone holding Trump win tokens, it'll become $0. Yeah, so that's concluded. So pretty much election results are done. You know, Biden won, and yeah, markets are gonna react to that in especially US markets, that's going to react to that in roughly less than 12 hours. So that's the kind of situation we're in. I do see that, you know, it might take a hit on the stock market, especially because Biden's not as, you know, pro-market as everyone else. And we're talking about how everyone's looking towards in this unstable period, especially when you're switching from sides into gold and Bitcoin. You know, that's the logical conclusion. So gold also went up quite a lot, actually, over the past few months. It's been a little bit crazy. So we're in a situation where, yet again, in terms of crypto itself, Bitcoin recovered. So there were many dumps that occurred on the 7th of November. But, you know, moving up to the 9th today, you can see that we're recovering very, very well. I mean, it was on this huge upward trajectory. I mean, look at that. I mean, if you actually just zoom out for a bit, you'll just see that Bitcoin has been on this continuous streak this year. And something that's kind of crazy is like, I saw this reaction on Reddit. I'll just show you guys this right now. But people were talking about Bitcoin who haven't been looking at Bitcoin. This was the guy's reaction. You can see just the guy's like, he was just confused, like, what, 5,000, 15,000? What's the numbers here? You know, guys, I don't understand. I can't compute. Didn't I cover Bitcoin when I was like 15? I mean, welcome to crypto land, I guess. Welcome. You know, just come here and stay for the amazing crazy situation we're in. So anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. Before we start this, so what we're going to cover today is we're going to cover a little bit about the markets, some thoughts. Obviously, now that crypto is more at the center stage. I mean, last week everyone was just talking about elections. Crypto was more at the center stage, and with the election results becoming a certainty, a lot of people have heavy expectations for crypto and Bitcoin. And yeah, so me too. I'm very, very bullish on it. I will talk about a little bit of the bearishness as well. So a few people were, they were kind of predicting a mini Bart Simpson, a little bit stronger than we had before, but we'll talk about that in today's episode. We'll also talk about a little bit about news and catch up on everything that's happening recently. Before we start, I do want to talk to you about everything that is happening around box mining. So let's see, take a look. We have coverage of Ethereum 2.0. The article is popping right now. So if you guys haven't caught up on Ethereum 2.0, this is going to be the biggest, well, change for a while. So Ethereum, and then of course altcoins. People are talking a lot about altcoins. Altcoins will get their time to shine. Usually what happens is when Bitcoin and Ethereum moves up, they move up first. They're the ones that bring everyone into the market. And then, of course, people start looking at altcoins. And that's when the altcoin season starts yet again. We've already had a crazy altcoin season around 2 months ago. I'm looking for a little bit more, the second little bit of dipping. We got Llama 666. DeFi jumped already 2 days ago. Not enough, guys. Nowhere near enough. I think that's second helping. We need a bigger helping. We just need a little bit more. We skip bigger scoops, So that's kind of what's happening around. I've also made this is something interesting that might interest you guys. So this has become something that people requested to me. They're like, oh, box mining, these live streams are getting a little bit too long. So we have box mining clips. So these are clips and shorter versions of the videos that we have already. So this has just started like last week. So you guys want to check that out. It's got like kind of more shorter videos, around 5 to 7 minutes roughly. Like you got the market update, you got the Ethereum, you got why China's bullish. So you get these subjects coming in that's very specific and catered towards a single topic. It's just clips of this live stream, but I think it's more kind of geared towards people who don't have that much time. They just want to look at a particular topic. It is an official channel. I just set it up over the weekend. So yeah, check that out, box mining clips. And also I got my cool intro, so let me do the intro right now. Yeah, I mean, I had to show you guys because I spent like a lot of time last week making that. So yeah, I'm learning Adobe After Effects. That's my excuse. And guys, by the way, while you're here, smash up those likes. It really does help the channel. Really appreciate your time here. And if you have any questions as well in regards to anything, we'll pop in questions and answers as well in due course and due time. So let's take a quick look at the markets right now. So we have Bitcoin sitting well above 15K yet again. Ethereum sitting happily at $452. Crazy, right? Crazy. So it did fall. It did scare a few people over the weekend. What am I going to do here when it dropped? But we recovered, and they recovered both at the same time. And you can very clearly see a unifying pattern here. Like every single coin over the last 7 days had pretty much the exact pattern. Like went up, dipped a little, and then went up again. Why is that? Well, because everyone's paying attention to the elections. So it just turns out that everyone thinks that crypto is an asset group, so they're just group buying these assets. This is something that I really opposed to. Like I feel like Bitcoin and Ethereum are so different. It's like steak and I don't know what's better than what's just as good, hamburgers, right? They're different things, right? They're different meals entirely, right? Maybe bad analogy, but you get the picture. It's way even more different than comparing apples and oranges. Sure, the cryptocurrencies, they rely on different technologies, but the use case and purpose is different. But regardless, the market doesn't care. It's okay. Everyone just views it the same. So Bitcoin has a strong rally, and it's been having this crazy rally, and we're continuing in again. We haven't yet tested the 16K resistance line yet. So yet again, it's a situation where we're trying to push up. We're comfortably sitting up here. We're kind of established the price. I mean, for a certain period of time, you can see that from the 6th to the 7th of November, it was sitting happily at 15.5K. These numbers are so huge. It's kind of funny. Like, talking about this, I almost have the same kind of expression as this news anchor. I've been covering crypto, Bitcoin since 2017. I'm so comfortable with saying, yeah, 1.5K Bitcoin. Like that. That was like kind of bringing back the memories, right? 1.5K Bitcoin, 2K Bitcoin, 3K Bitcoin. 15K sounds so weird. 15.5K. Wow. That's kind of crazy. So yeah, yet again, we're at this point where we're trying to decide where to go next, and this is a point where we can expect a little bit of volatility. So my long-term view and my medium-term view is super bullish. I'm super bullish on it because there's lots of instability in this market, a lot of uncertainty, and with kind of this continuation of trade war and whatnot, having an asset that you can control yourself is extremely important. That's the power of Bitcoin, right? And it's like it kind of transcends. There's so many reasons to have Bitcoin, whether it's kind of sending money online, which is it's growing, but it's there, but it's growing, but it's not the biggest reason. I feel like right now the biggest reason a lot of people, especially in Asia, are thinking about Bitcoin is that it's an asset class that is not controlled by the government. it's not affected by politics. I think that's kind of the main key reason a lot of Asians are buying Bitcoin, because Asia, there's a lot of uncertainty here with a lot of, if you see what's happening in Hong Kong, I'm not going to comment on that, but beyond Hong Kong, we still have Southeast Asia, where there's still uncertainty in Thailand and kind of the surrounding area, where it's very, very politically sensitive, and bank accounts can get closed just on a whim like that. And that's why a lot of people are looking at Bitcoin. We say, look, Bitcoin doesn't care who I support, where my money goes. It just cares about whether I have my private key or not. That's the essence of it, and that's what makes it so powerful in Asia. So I still feel like midterm, that's my reasoning for it. I feel like midterm, the unstable period is still there, the uncertainty is still there. That's why Bitcoin is becoming a larger and larger asset. And on top of that, of course, because more and more money is being spent and created out of thin air, that's where Bitcoin's rally comes from. It's almost the same logical reasoning as gold. Short term though, I'm a little bit cautious. So I'm super bullish last week, but I'm a little bit cautious of one thing, where everyone on the market right now is believing that Bitcoin's going to go up, right? This seems to be like the overall thought. And there has been this kind of analysis of how many longs are there versus shorts. And there's a lot of longs right now on the market. People believing it's going to go up. People buy this long position on leverage. And we do see that leverage is becoming a key role in this space. So with leverage longs, there might be a situation where one whale will try to hunt and destroy those longs. So what we could see potentially, right? What we can potentially see is that we can see a potential drop. So this the famous Bart Simpson pattern, right? So people hunting for those longs to just obliterate those longs, right? So liquidate those longs. That's a possibility right now on the market. So we could see, we already saw one Bart Simpson. You can kind of see that shape, the spiky hair, and then flopping down. That might be one hunt. There might be a second hunt which is bigger. That's one of the risks I see right now, and which is why I'm not taking a leverage position. I have a lot of crypto already. I'm not gonna, it's not necessary for me to take a leverage position at this current point of time. So that's why I'm kind of patiently sitting here waiting. We'll see if we can kind of establish some good support at this level and a move up for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, the same thing goes with the Ethereum. So same thing. I do think that it might be the case that some people are going to try to hunt for those longs, and it's just purely a trading play, right? That's a risk that we can take, and some people can maybe just try to hunt for that. But that's the kind of the risk. And then yet again, I do feel that longer term Ethereum has been getting a lot of potential, especially with ETH 2.0 moving up. The deadline, or not the deadline, the time to submit the contract is towards the end. Okay, let me roll back a bit. So what's happening with ETH 2.0 is that ETH 2.0 is going to launch, and it's already launched the deposit contracts. We're going to cover more about ETH 2.0 this week, so make sure you subscribe to this channel, so the new videos, when they come up, you'll get informed about what's happening with these deposit contracts and everything. But the key here is that the contracts are up for people to move from ETH to ETH2, but of course, but it does take some time. So we need a certain amount of Ethereum, and we'll need to make sure that the certain amount is reached before ETH2 can properly launch. And that's kind of what everyone is waiting for at the end of the day. So lots of excitement there as well. And yet again, so I'm very, very optimistic. I don't have leverage positions at this current point. I don't feel like it's necessary. I have the correct amount of exposure I want. And then, of course, I'm also right now this week, I'm going to look heavily at altcoins too. Kind of interesting. So I was reading this tweet, right? This tweet got a lot of views, and this is from Suzu. So Suzu is Three Arrows Capital. They're part of the Singaporean guys, the Singaporean investors in DeFi. They're the kind of like Three Arrows, and we got Offer 0x, and we got all those guys in Singapore that invested in DeFi very early. They got very, very cheap coins early too. So it's kind of interesting to see what they're saying in this space. And Suzu is very, very positive right now. DeFi tokens might be the first tokens to actually not just momentarily derive value from BTC and ETH going up higher. The prices of native crypto assets, higher the TLVs volumes and the fees in DeFi, especially in the blue chip ones, are already being widely used. So extremely, extremely positive from Shuzu. Obviously, okay, they're going to be biased, right? Because they hold a lot of coins. They got them very early on, and they might be trying to signal us something. But I do believe that this is the same thing as well. I think that DeFi, it has legs. It has legs because someone can just write a contract just like that and boom, create magic. And we saw that with a few of the coins. Like I think a lot of people hyping over the Andre Kronik coins again. Like both Wi-Fi got a mini pump around 2 days ago. We got Keeper as well. A lot of people pay attention to that. But the beauty of DeFi is that right now we're so early in the game. One developer who's very smart can create something very, very useful. And I feel like the next DeFi wave that's going to come, it's going to have to push for another objective too. That's my current take on it. So if you're talking about altcoins, if you're talking about DeFi, a lot of these projects are playing the same game. Oh, okay, it's vaults. All right, we've got total value locked again. Yes, that's great. But at the same time, we need to have more and new ways to generate some form of something more interesting. And I think that's kind of when I'm looking more at like synthetics, when I'm looking at linear, when I'm looking at kind of maybe something new. Maybe it's going to be something new. That's when this week's all about. This week, I'm going to do a lot more research on what's going to happen in decentralized finance. We're going to research this together as well. If you have any suggestions as well to what DeFi projects to look at, especially if they have something new, something exciting, that might be the current play for this month. So anyways, that's my take on it. So yeah, markets as well. I mean, if you look at the overall market, this wave, we didn't see Bitcoin and Ethereum draining much from the rest of crypto. So you can see that the DeFi's coins were moving up as well. Thorchain, Loopring, Ava moving a bit up again. And then we have, of course, on the other side, on the flip side of everything, yeah, it's not that big. The losses aren't that big this entire 24 hours. And same with the 72 days. I mean, you can kind of see that the positive is much greater than the negative at this current point. So I feel like this is a situation. I feel like still very likely that Bitcoin and Ethereum, they can make some major movements here after the risk of the long hunting that I was talking about, people trying to liquidate longs. After that is over, it's very likely it'll move up. That's how people make money. Traders try to screw each other over. So that's a possibility. And I still feel like there's a lot of potential in Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is why I'm still very heavily in Bitcoin at this current point. And once Bitcoin has its rally, so during the Bitcoin rally, we do see the alts drop a little bit. And that's kind of what I'm expecting at this current point. This is why I'm researching the alts, but I'm not taking up positions at this current point. It's kind of funny, but anyways, that's the kind of way it's down. Jerry Brooks says big institutions won't have a choice. Catch the wave before you drown. I know that they had to say this, and we've been saying this for the longest time, but I don't think not having a choice is the correct way to look at it. I think like big institutions are coming in, but it's still going to take a longer period. We kind of seen that argument in 2017 where there's going to be a collapse of the dollar and then the institutions don't have a choice but to come in. I do agree that it's very clear. If you look at MicroStrategy, right, they were the ones that really literally said Bitcoin is trash in 2012 and then started buying up a position, and now they have more than $500 million in crypto, right? So that's MicroStrategy's story. They hated it, and then now they have a huge bunch of it, right? So that's going to happen. I think institutions are going to come in, but I feel like the no choice but to buy crypto element is still different. I think like realistically looking at it right now, all right, being real, I think the smarter institutions, the ones that they're a lot more aggressive, they're a lot more tech savvy, those are the ones that realize the potential, they're going to jump in. Then we have kind of the bigger institutions that are more safe, right? The Berkshire Hathaways that prefer Coca-Cola and energy, and the more traditional ones, they're eventually going to come over, but I feel like it's still going to be a matter of time. So it's like the time scale for that might be 10, 20 years even, right? That's realistically, Bitcoin's only got a track record of 10 years. So we just recently, like a year ago, so maybe 11 years, nearing 11 years now, but just just a few months ago, we were celebrating Bitcoin turning 10, right? So that's the kind of the case that we have right now, where I feel like it's a situation where if institutions that are tech savvy are buying it, they understand it, and then we're gonna need to solve some problems for them for custody and everything. And that's kind of the phase that we're at. There's gonna be better custody solutions. If you think about it, institutions, they keep other people's money, so they need to make sure that it's kept very safe, etc., etc. But long story short, I feel like they're jumping in, and it's very apparent that they're coming in right now. So okay, Cryptogram says, what price did PayPal get in at? 10K? Is that the institutional floor? I would say if PayPal actually bought, hear me out. PayPal announced news, right, at around 10, 11K. But very likely PayPal bought before that. There was no reason for PayPal not to hold crypto, right? There's no reason for them to build out all this infrastructure without actually acquiring positions, right? So very likely institutions were probably acquiring very early on throughout the year. That's very likely. We see build cycles that are like half a year, 1 year, maybe 1.5 years if it's a financial tool. But very likely they accumulated in 2019. So when Bitcoin was dead, I would say that this was a time when PayPal and stuff were buying. I mean, we saw some floors around like say 5K, 4K. We saw briefly 4K earlier on this year, right? So very likely that would be the institutional floor. Institutions aren't dumb. They're smart, right? When everyone's freaking out, when everyone thinks, oh my God, it's over, crypto, it's dead, everyone is buying a dip, right? So during that downward spiral, it's very likely that towards the end of that spiral, institutions started accumulating. Then that's pretty much the case with whales too. You kind of see that in this entire space, right? This whole space has been moving upwards for a long ass time. And you see the people who make money are the ones that they dollar cost average when things are going down. It doesn't look great. People are freaking out. That's when they start buying. And I feel like that's kind of the case. And if we move up, right? If we move up this time, it will also have to do a lot with retail hype as well. It'll have to do with retail going crazy yet again, like 2017, maybe a particular country going crazy again. Like last time with South Korea, it was absolutely insane. There was a kimchi premium, right? A kimchi premium of 15%, where Bitcoin was sold literally 15% more in Korea because people just couldn't have enough of it. They were just like crazy for it, right? So there's going to be a lot of fever. I think right now we have to rely on maybe a different country than South Korea to have this again. I think like this time we're looking for, okay, who else? Maybe Southeast Asia. Where's kind of all the hype building up? One of the reasons why is like Korea is still a little bit burnt from 2017, right? This is why Korea didn't really pick up in terms of kind of hype and fever. So that side's a little bit exhausted. I feel like retail is still going to be the main driver if we're going to see any major pushes, to be honest, right? We got some quick comments. We got Somi saying, Michael is my favorite streamer in CryptoTube, and Angela is easily pound for round the South Hemisphere's best moderator. Thanks, guys. This channel been doing great. By the way, moderators, a lot of moderators do this moderating for free. It's been pretty crazy, pretty awesome for those guys, for everyone here. So big thank you for the moderators. Also, big thank you for all supporters of the channel. We've been accumulating a lot of supporters for this channel. I want to say big thank you to anyone who click the button down below that says, support this channel. That's been great. You get nice smiley faces next to your name too. So thanks for everyone who's joined this channel. Big thank you for all the joiners out there as well. So Llama666 says, I thought we're the retail buyers, and keep guys going before retail comes in. I think retail, they're the kind of interesting thing, right? And I talked to a lot of different people, and a lot of people are still very suspicious. So it's like we had this so I'll review a bit. So we had this birthday party in Genesis Block, right? So one of the traders there, I won't say names, I won't point people out. One of the traders there had a birthday party there, and he brought his IRL friends over, and very few of them actually have crypto exposure. So of like say the 12 friends that were there, one of them would have actual crypto exposure. The rest heard of it, and I was like, buy Bitcoin, guys. Buy Bitcoin. Just look at it. Okay, look at it. Look at it. Be like, like this was at 10K, by the way. So this was at roughly at 10K. I'm like, look at Bitcoin. All right, look at Bitcoin. You guys should really do some serious research into Bitcoin. Like, there's some major movements going on. Take a look. And I feel like that's a situation. Like they still haven't like bought much. They're so apprehensive. I think that's the thing with a lot of retail. They saw how it rose up like crazy and then moved down like crazy. They're saying this is great. This is absolutely insane, right? But at the end of the day, it's the best performing asset. Let's be honest here, right? If you accumulated Bitcoin at 3K this year, you would have made what, a 5x in a year. Like, who does that? Like, but Bitcoin. So I feel like it has tremendous power, tremendous use case, and it's just on its way to discovery. If anything, anyone who looks at Bitcoin seriously, like, that's what I'm saying. I'm telling everyone, like, seriously look at Bitcoin. I think there's a lot of apprehension, and there's going to be a lot of regret as well, because I told a lot of people about Bitcoin early on this year as well. I think at 8 to 9K, I was telling a lot of people, and there was like, I had some friends who are doctors, and they're more stable minded, doctors and lawyers and stuff. They like their stable assets, they like their properties, as a Hong Kong thing, right? And I'm like, dude, take a serious look at Bitcoin, and check out Genesis Block if you want to do like fiat to crypto. They teach you everything there. They can help you get set up, and then they take fiat as well if you want to have give cash or bank transfer in Hong Kong. That's convenient. But obviously they didn't buy it, right? So now I think there's going to be quite a lot of regret, to be honest, quite a lot of regret. And there's going to be more regret coming soon too. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Bitcoin has a very strong trajectory for it. I'm not going to say, like, a lot of people online I've seen like 250K or, these crazy numbers. I think Bitcoin is going to grow, and it's going to have this, like, this is why HODL kind of works, is because Bitcoin, it has these crazy swings, and it gets buried by the media too sometimes, right? Bitcoin's dead yet again. I was reading Reddit today for my daily jokes, and you see like the Bitcoin graveyards. Media tries to bury Bitcoin all the time because they don't understand it. They see it drops, it's dead, it's game over. Let me see if there's a Bitcoin graveyard one. Yeah, this one. RIP. Mainstream media is trying to bury Bitcoin every day. It's like, oh, for fuck's sakes, guys, this again. That's kind of why HODL works in this space. It's just because you can iron out. So that's why I'm saying, like, I'm still a little bit cautious about the current market, because I'm kind of seeing if there's going to be another Bart Simpson before we can push up. That's a possibility. But yet again, every time there's a Bart Simpson, the media freaks out. Bitcoin's dead. And then Bitcoin moves up again, and the media is like, what again? 15 what? 15,000? What? Anyways, I'm gonna stop doing that. So anyways, this week I am gonna look at, so we got JPEG 18. Hey there, do you think if that right now is a good time to buy Ethereum? Okay, so this is a good question. A lot of people ask me, when's the right time to buy something? I've been doing a lot of dollar cost averaging. I've been telling you guys, look, I dollar cost average into Bitcoin on its way up for the past 2 weeks. And to be honest, guys, I already hold a lot of Bitcoin too, right? So yet again, not financial advice. If you're not exposed, the best way to do it is to dollar cost average. The reason why is because everyone wants to buy at the lowest and then try to ride it up, right? Or buy on its way up. But there's going to be a lot of volatility, and which is why dollar cost averaging works, where you kind of average out the price, and then you can kind of ride out the wave with everyone else. I've had a friend who was perpetually waiting, right? Like, when I first told her about Bitcoin, it was like, what, like 150, 150. And then they're like, oh, it's up a lot. Maybe I should wait till 90. And then it went up to 200. Oh, come on. I'll wait till 150 again. Goes up to 250. Oh, I'll wait till 200. I'll buy. It's 450 right now. Like, literally, when are you gonna buy, right? And this is why dollar cost averaging kind of works, is because it kind of averages your position in. So you kind of decide what strategy works for you. And this is where it's not financial advice. You got to kind of plan out your own strategy. You got to be smart yourself. And that's important, right? Don't listen to people. Like, there's a million people telling you what to do. And that's the worst, all right? That's like something I really hate in this space. Some people are like, oh, it's going to go up to 4,000, high probability, low risk. It's not low risk. This stuff is really high risk, but it's all about planning out your strategy, right? This is where you got to stop listening to internet gurus. You got to start thinking for yourself, right? I have my own strategy because it works for me. And I've accumulated a crap ton of crypto over the past few years. In fact, like the best time to dollar cost average was also last year, right? I was preaching that nonstop on the channel, but then that was time when viewership was actually low. In the midst of 2019, no one cared, right? No one was like, oh, it's crypto. Buy it now. Bitcoin's at 5K. It's at 4K. Everyone's like, you're crazy. You're a dumbass. So dollar cost averaging works. Even at this market right now, I still feel like we're on this trajectory up. So yet again, it works, but you got to make your own decision, right? Alex Newman says, do I buy BTC right now? You buy the dips. It's hard to buy the dips too. It's so easy to say it's a good time to buy the dips, but then when the dips do come, I think half of the people will freak out and be like, oh, is this over? Is this over for Bitcoin? Is this done? Like, can I catch the knife? And it's both aspects are hard. And, we're static right now because we have accumulated over time. And right now it's moving up quite a lot. You got to plan it out for yourself. And this is kind of when, your DCA kind of works. All right. When to buy? The question is when. When every time is when. When is DCA, guys? DCA, dollar cost averaging being, and that's very likely what we've seen that as well. Like institution wise, the big money. Because recently I just got brought on board, and I'm a strategic advisor for Genesis Block right now. So this is a Bitcoin education center, and as a Bitcoin center in Hong Kong, they deal a lot with, they do OTC, so they deal with a lot of institutional clients. And I always ask them like, okay, you can't tell me reveal what's happening with the clients themselves, but generally speaking, what's happening, right? And institutions dollar cost average too. It's like they don't just say, oh, look, it's a dip, let's buy it and speculate, right? If they say we're going to take a position on XY asset, we're going to have a strategy to dollar cost average and just time yourself to buy. And that kind of works, right? So Awesome Power says DCA Sunday before AM. That's actually a pretty good strategy. Sometimes we have like these dips, so having a DCA on a weekend works. I mean, there's also even these like intense strategies where people just like set a time. Okay, like look at this time, regardless, I'm gonna buy a portion. And that's kind of it. Like all these strategies actually work because they kind of iron out all the kinks into trades. The problem with the trading right now is that it's extremely volatile due to the whales that can move markets up or down. That's why you have these sudden spikes, right? That's why all of a sudden you have like the spike down, you have the spike up. Sure, you can try to catch it at 14K, but I bet you when it was dipping at 14K, I bet there's a lot of you out there who are freaking out thinking, oh my God, if Bitcoin is, I bet like, we speak from like if it was here, right? Let's say if it was here, like, let me just move this here. If crypto was at here, right, would you really buy? Like, let's say you just see this candle right here, like, oh my God, it's dipping like crazy. There's a lot of people who at that time would be saying, oh, it's going to go to 13K again. It's going to go into 11K. Oh my God, I'm so bearish, right? There's 100% chance that at this time, people are going to freak out and not going to buy the dip, right? And then, oh, boom. Okay. All right. Oh, that was the best time to buy the dip. That's not how human psychology works, right? And why kind of like all the experts, DCA, is that you go to the people who trade Bitcoin, right? You go to the Bitcoin meetups, you talk to people who trade and people who actually do have a lot of funds. Like I know a lot of whales and they DCA a lot. It's just that's just yeah, DCA cuts out emotions. That's kind of the strategy. So my 2 cents on there. So like I wouldn't ask, okay, if this is the perfect time to buy. Like the better strategy would be like, what is a good DCA strategy? Like what works for me? That's kind of the best questions to ask at this current point of time. Not financial advice, of course. All right, so that's pretty much concluding today's what I have prepared for you guys today. It's actually a shorter episode, so much shorter. So yeah, there's still a little bit of China FUD. It's not the end yet. I think this week will be a time when everyone refocuses back in crypto. Last week, everything was just dominated by election news, and I think personally, I was just like, oh my god, now I understand why I don't look at politics. There's a period of time where I just like blocked politics out and only looked at crypto, because politics is just exhausting, right? Especially if you look at all the Hong Kong stuff, it's just gonna be it makes you so upset. Like there's a period where you can go into a serious depression if you look at all the politics that's happening around you. And I just like consciously said, no, I'm going to focus on crypto. Let me make my money first, right? And then then let's talk, because politics is all talk, right? So just blah, 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 people talking, okay, this and that. You're not going to change anything, right? Like that's the truth of it, right? It's going to just divide your family. It's going to divide you and your friends, you and your family, you and your restaurants that you like, you and everyone out there, because everyone's got a political opinion. But I'm just like, just keep it to yourself, guys. You're not going to change anything. Just make a bunch of money and then you can change stuff, right? When you have a bunch of money, then you can change stuff, because then you can hire politicians. Because you can complain about corruption all you want, but at the end of the day, guys, like, let's be honest here, they're all corrupt, right? They're all for hire. They don't make that much money. A president of the United States makes how much? $1 million per year? Like, honest president salary. I'm serious. All right. No. Wait. What? Wait. No, it's even less than that. List of salaries of government heads of state. All right, we got this. Well, how much president makes? Right. Yeah. Not even $1 million. 400,000. What is that? Right. Yeah, that's like less than 40 Bitcoin. That's like 30 Bitcoin per year. Really, guys? Like, really? Like, do you think they can survive off 400K? Like, come on. I was like saying, oh, maybe they make $1 million. No, they don't. They make 400,000. Like, that's a joke. I mean, come on, we're in crypto. We know that's like nothing, right? So at the end of the day, like, politicians are for hire. That's the truth. That's the truth. So yeah. Lol, 1 million, idiot. No, not 1 million. It's just less than that. A little bit less. So let's be honest here. They don't make a lot. Not at all. Like, especially if you look at these crypto salaries, a lot of crypto salaries. I know CEOs who are paying themselves more than the presidential salary. Let's just say that. Yeah. And then we got Nick Miles says, when things go bad, 2020 is a total mess. Crypto goes up. Thanks, Nick. Did you rig the elections again? With this running joke in our channel where Nick, because he's Russian, he's always rigging elections or something like that. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for today, I would say. Mondo88, I think you should outline some DCA strategies in general in more detail, Michael. It's kind of funny. So I had to talk with the Genesis Block guys. I visit the center a lot, and they get exposure to a lot of clients, and a lot of people ask them these same questions. And one of the strategies that we really thought kind of works very well, especially, is either the weekly or the monthly DCA strategy. If you have a long-term goal, some people take the 1 month, every month, decide how much they do want to do it, and split it over 12-month period, right? So this is for people who are, they want to play it more safe. They want a position in Bitcoin. They know it's valuable, and they're looking at this like something like the 5, 10, 15-year horizon, and that makes sense right now, especially in crypto. Like, it's highly volatile, but it's not gonna die anytime this year. People think it's like people have all these misconceptions, right? And for anyone who has a lot of misconceptions, the 1 month one works. For me, I think personally, the weekly or the every 2 days during a period, like for me, what my strategy is, I identify a time when I want to DCA in and I want to DCA out. That's kind of like the bands I'm at, and then I decide. So the first I look at direction, right? If it's going up, like right now, I'm gonna switch to DCA, like dollar cost average sell, very soon because it's going up, right? So I can just sell at a certain amount of time. So I know it just sounds. I know people are gonna hate me for this, but yeah, switching to DCA sell makes sense if you identify, okay, look, it's going up, you sell. If it's going down, you buy it, right? That's the kind of strategy. So yes, right now we're pushing up, but I haven't started yet. Like I feel like there's a little bit more potential to go before DCA sell starts. Before the election, I was DCAing buying in, and that was around every 2 days. Like every 2 days, I'll spot an opportunity, boom, buy a little bit in. And the worst part about that is like, it's so convenient now. It's the best and the worst part. It's so convenient now. Like sometimes I'm like shilling Bitcoin hard. I'm like, oh shit, you know what? I'm gonna just buy some more. And I'm shilling it to my friends. I'm like, yo, Bitcoin's really great. You know what? And it was like privately in a corner. Okay, let me buy a few. Right? That's guilty confessions right there. So that's kind of how I slowly DCA'd over the last 2 weeks. So now I'm kind of looking. Okay, look, starting to think about DCA selling out a little bit, but haven't started yet. So that's kind of the thinking at this current point. So depending on what strategy works, I'm not sure if that's a lot of detail for you guys and how it's going to work. Yeah. Dollar cost selling. Yeah, it's regardless. It's dollar cost averaging. It can average a sell or it can average a buy, right? And that works quite well. Like you just identify which band you're in, and that worked really well. Like DCAing back into crypto in 2019. I actually did DCA sell a little bit in 2017, which is why I'm not broke. So yeah, that's the strategy. Show to yourself. Matt R says you showed yourself Bitcoin. Yeah, that's the way it goes, man. That's a good goal. Abe says fiat will die before crypto dies. That's absolutely true. And it's kind of funny, like in Hong Kong, especially right now, it's kind of funny because Hong Kong loves property, right? But property is like, it's such a big investment. Like it's so hard for me to enter right now. Like you're thinking about it, it's gonna like the moment you acquire even a small property, like even small flats in Hong Kong go for $1 million US or $2 million US, right? Even if you acquire that, like it takes such a big part of your portfolio, makes zero sense whatsoever, right? It's just so volatile right now, especially with kind of the political uncertainty. I'm like, no, man, that's so you want to have an asset that goes up when politics gets crazy, right? Like, because there's only one way for politics to go right now is to go more crazy. I mean, 2020 is a crazy year, and I feel like it's just the beginning for this stuff. I think there's going to be more escalation. We'll see how it goes, but I don't really believe that the world's going to de-escalate and all of a sudden move back to normal. Like, I want it to be like that, but deep down inside, I kind of know it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Zombo Breaker says these presidents don't need that money. They're doing it for the power. Absolutely, they're doing it for the power. But also, like, where are they going to get the money, right? It's like, Trump's going to make a killing from being president. It's just the case, right? Like, Trump was pretty honest, I think. Like, it's like very clear that he's going to be Trump first, America second, world number 3, right? That's kind of how it works. That's pretty much the same with every politician too. I don't believe for a second they're not gonna use their power to become more rich, gain more assets, just bully around people with money, and so people with money give them money, right? That makes a lot of sense, right? Anyways, that's pretty much it. No gain tax in HK. Absolutely, that's the best part about HK. Tay International says, don't the PRC control all property in Hong Kong now? No, people still own a lease on the land. Worldopedia, Trump lost massive net worth by being president. Massive, huge. That's the correct word to use. Huge. But no, I think he gained a lot. I think his family assets increased. I think that's how you play it, like Kushner and everything. Like I think that's the way it works, right? Like then you presidential pardon a few people. That's the way it works. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. 40% gain tax on capital gains. Good. Enjoy that. Have fun. Enjoy. Anyways. So tired, man. I'm like today is crazy because like yesterday I finished eating at around 7. So it's like I'm doing this intermittent fasting thing, right? So I'm kind of closing down on the eating window. It's brutal. I wake up and it's just like you're so drained. So we'll have to see. Like I'm still trying it out. This is my week 3 of intermittent fasting. I'm losing a little bit of weight though. I think I lost a total of 1 kilo. It's not a lot, to be honest. I'm like hoping for more, but it's not happening. Dollar cost hodl. So yeah, so I think that's my life story. My life, been shopping quite a bit recently too. I took weekend is also retail therapy yet again. I just bought a lot of random stuff. Like I don't even know why I bought soap. I'm like, wow, this is like it was on sale. All right, some weird soap, and I was looking at Nike React shoes. Just like Nike store is my favorite place now, I think. Retail therapy works. And I also bought the new iPhone. That's great. Over the weekend, I was like, that's like something like you kind of hate now. Like, Apple hypes all this up, then you have to wait to book that crap, and then you have to fight for it, right? Like, at what point do I say, look, I've had enough, I'm going to try this once, I'll tell you guys how it goes? So I bought the iPhone Pro Max or whatever, so it's going to be released I think on the 13th, and Apple is going to do an announcement on tomorrow, right, on the new Max. So I'll tell you how it goes. I'm kind of in the middle. I want to switch back to iPhone, primarily because my Samsung's getting really slow. I have that iPhone here, but so I have 2 phones, right? So I have the S10, I have the iPhone X. S10 gets really slow for some reason. I don't understand why. It's a good situation where like you use this for 2 years, you don't format it. If you don't format it, you just keep everything the same. You install Chinese apps on it, and then it just dies. It just literally. It's just slow as hell. It's like you look at the RAM usage and you're like, what how is it using up 7 gigabytes of RAM? Like how? Like, sorry, I'm just complaining about Android. And it's mostly, I think, not because of Android's fault. It's mostly because of how toxic Chinese apps are. Like, just sometimes like you install your bunch of WeChat, your Taobaos, your JDs, your taxi app, and your bunch of other apps on there, and boom, like your phone's destroyed. Have a nice life. Apple's a little bit better because they have like a more kind of like a draconian Apple policy. So that's why I'm going back to Apple. Like my next phone, I'm gonna try going back to Apple again, see how that works, and we'll see. Waiting for SE plus Max plus largest. Yeah, I mean exactly. I ordered the iPhone 12 Pro Max, whatever it's called. Like, so yeah, that's the case. And the worst part is like Llama 666 is maybe trading an iPhone for iPhone 12. I don't ever trading phones. Okay, reason why is because I have so many wallet apps on there. I'm seriously afraid of one day just like trading a phone and realizing, oh crap, like there's like a wallet there that's got like money inside. It's got like maybe like 4 ETH, right, or 5 ETH, and then ETH goes up and you're like, oh no. And that happens, right? Because like sometimes I test out a bunch of wallets, I put a bunch of like crypto inside, and I forget about it, right? So I think like that's the hardest part, and that's why I keep all the phones I buy. Like there's a stack of phones here. I actually have another one here. This is another Android, by the way. So I have a stack of phones. Like every time I try a new phone, I have to keep it. It's just like it's like a rule now. Like you're gonna have to see a stack of phones on my table very soon. So Yeah, so that's a problem. I've got problems. Okay, I got problems. Tech problems. All right, but we'll see. Smash up the likes, guys. Worldopedia says good strategy not giving a phone that previously has sensitive info on it. Exactly. You don't want to give like the wipe works, but sometimes you don't want to wipe a wallet out, right? Like there was just once, right? This stupid ones. Like there was just once I had a wallet with this coin on it, and it was worth like 100 at the time, and then it went up to like 10x, right? And I lost that phone. I'm like, all right. Anyways, stories of my life. Don't get wrecked. But anyways, and the harder part is like the safer the wallet you store on. Okay, that's the last rant. The safer the wallet you store on, the less it migrates, right? They don't use the cloud to save that information. So the information is always saved on the phone itself. So yet again, you don't want to wipe that. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. So ending this video, we have quite a lot, but I think I've recorded a section to talk about it. So that's a great thing. So I'm going to play that section to you guys. I hope you can catch up with everything around here. Also, just join me on Discord. We have quite a lot of discussions on Discord. Box mining Discord, copy, invite people. The Discord's growing very nicely too. Telegram, we'll try to figure out a way to open that up. And let me do the outro right. I'd like to take the time now to tell you a little bit about everything that's happening in the box mining ecosystem. First and foremost, if you guys like listening to all that's happening in crypto on the go, then I would highly recommend you checking out the Box Mining Bitcoin Out of the Box podcast. And the reason why it's called Bitcoin Out of the Box is because we have long interview segments very much exploring the detail of the newest and latest of what's going on in this whole cryptocurrency space. Whole idea of it is to bridge that gap between knowledge privileged institutional investors and the rest of us here in this space. Now, with the podcast, it's on everything. So it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Podcasts, it's on Spotify. Just search it anywhere, Bitcoin Out of the Box. So just add that onto a playlist and then just follow the new episodes when it's released. Next up, we also have the Box Mining newsletter. So this happens roughly bi-weekly. We give you an update of the latest that's going on in a very summarized, condensed format. So this is perfect for anyone that wants an overview of the market. Say, for example, what's happening with OKX, the biggest event, or maybe the little things like what's happening with different coins and overall the trend. So what I use the newsletter for personally myself is to understand what kind of phase we're in crypto, to kind of get in tune. So if you don't read crypto every day, the newsletter is perfect for you. Last but not least, in the link down below, if you're a Telegram user, we have the Box Mining announcements channel. So this is to announce to you basically what's the latest videos coming up, but also we have a daily update, a community-driven daily update to provide you an idea of the latest updates on a day. And a lot of people have been using that to get informed of the crazy amounts of trends that we see. And I have to give a big thank you for Claudio, our community member, for doing this. It's just been phenomenal. Definitely want to give you a shout out there, Claudio, as well for that. And taking us to the end of the live stream, so make sure, number one, you click like and subscribe on this video because it really does help this channel. And then, of course, check out the podcast. It's one of the best ways to know a little bit more, to extend that knowledge, especially in your spare time. And then, of course, check out the newsletter. If you're, if you want those updates and summaries and trends, newsletter is the place for you. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you have a good one. See you in the next video.